I work at Walmart as a cashier. It's not the best job, but it pays the bills. I usually work the evening shift from 4 p.m. to midnight. It's not too bad except for the occasional rude customer or annoying manager. But there's one thing that really creeps me out about working there. It's the people who come in late at night when the store is almost empty. They're not normal shoppers. They're not looking for anything specific. They just wander around the aisles, staring at the shelves, or sometimes at me. They don't talk to anyone. They don't buy anything. They don't even seem to notice anyone else. They just walk around like zombies, robots, or something. I don't know who they are or what they want, but they give me the chills. Sometimes I feel like they're watching me, or following me, or waiting for something to happen. One night I was working the register, and there were only a few customers left in the store. It was about 11:30 p.m., and I was counting the minutes until I could clock out and go home. That's when I saw him. He was tall and thin, wearing a black trench coat and a fedora hat. He had long, greasy hair and a pale face with dark circles under his eyes. He looked like he hadn't slept in days, or maybe years. He walked in through the entrance and headed straight for my lane. He didn't look at anything else, just me. He had a weird smile on his face like he knew something I didn't. He reached my register and put a single item on the conveyor belt. It was a pack of gum. "Hi," I said nervously, trying to act normal. "How are you today?" He didn't answer. He just stared at me with his creepy smile. I scanned his gum and told him the total. "That'll be $1.07. He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a handful of coins. He dropped them on the counter, one by one, making a loud clinking sound. He counted them slowly as if he was trying to annoy me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He looked up at me again and winked. "Keep the change." He grabbed his gum and walked away, still smiling. I felt a shiver run down my spine. What was that all about? Who was he? What did he want? I looked at the coins he left behind. They were all pennies. I picked them up and noticed something strange. They were all old and dirty and had different dates on them. 1945, 1963, 1974, 1986, 1999. The last one caught my eye. It was from 2023. That's next year. I flipped it over and saw something that made my blood run cold. It had my face on it. It was just an ordinary day, you know? The sun was shining, people were going about their business, and I decided to swing by Walmart to pick up a few things. Little did I know, that day would become etched in my memory as the creepiest experience of my life. As I entered Walmart, the fluorescent lights bathed the entire store in an eerie glow. Shelves lined with products stretched out as far as the eye could see. It was the kind of place where you could quickly lose track of time, wandering through the labyrinth of aisles. I started my shopping, grabbing the items on my list and placing them in my cart. Everything seemed normal at first, just the usual hustle and bustle of people going about their business. But as I made my way through the store, I couldn't shake off this unsettling feeling that something wasn't right. It was as if the air had turned heavy, and the atmosphere around me grew tense. I kept catching glimpses of people from the corner of my eye, but when I turned to look, they would be gone. It was like they were playing a game of hide and seek, disappearing into thin air. As I continued down the aisles, I noticed a peculiar pattern. It seemed like there were a few individuals who kept appearing wherever I went. They were of different ages and genders and dressed in ordinary attire. Nothing about them stood out at first glance, but something about their presence made my skin crawl. Their eyes, those haunting eyes, they had this intense gaze that seemed to bore into my soul. It was like they were staring right through me, seeing something I couldn't comprehend. It gave me the creeps, but I tried to brush it off as my imagination playing tricks on me. But the more I shopped, the more I encountered these strange individuals. They would pass by, their gaze fixed on me, and then vanish into the crowd. It became unnerving, as if they were following me, observing my every move. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Feeling increasingly uneasy, I decided to finish my shopping and head toward the checkout. I rushed to the nearest open register, hoping to escape the eerie presence that had been haunting me throughout the store. I unloaded my items onto the conveyor belt, grateful for the distraction of the cashier, but as I glanced up, I froze. There they were again, those same haunting individuals. They had lined up in separate checkout lanes, their eyes locked onto mine. It felt like they were trying to communicate something, a message hidden within their intense stares. Unable to bear it any longer, I quickly paid for my items and made a beeline for the exit. As I pushed open the doors, a sense of relief washed over me. I thought I had finally escaped their gaze. But to my horror, as I turned around, I saw them standing just outside the store, their eyes still fixed on me. Fear gripped me, and I broke into a run. I darted through the parking lot, my heart pounding in my chest. I could still feel their presence behind me, their haunting eyes burning into my back. It was as if they were chasing me, even though they made no move to follow. I jumped into my car, locked the doors, and peeled out of the parking lot, leaving Walmart and those eerie individuals behind. As I drove away, my mind raced with questions. Who were they? What did they want from me? And most importantly, why did they seem so familiar? To this day, I still can't explain what happened at that Walmart. I've tried to forget, but their haunting eyes are forever etched in my memory. I've never seen them again, but their presence lingers like a shadow, reminding me that mysteries in this world can't be easily explained. So if you ever find yourself wandering the aisles of Walmart, keep your wits about you. Watch out for those unsettling gazes, those haunting eyes that seem to see more than meets the eye. Trust your instincts and know that sometimes the creepiest things are the ones that hide in plain sight. So let me tell you about this one crazy night that went down when I was working the graveyard shift at Walmart. I know it sounds like the start of some horror flick, but I swear this is all true. It was just another regular night, or so I thought. I had taken up a job at Walmart to make some extra cash during my summer break. Working the night shift had its perks. The store was less crowded, and I got to avoid the chaos of the daytime rush. But little did I know that the tranquility of the night would soon be shattered by a series of spine-chilling events. I arrived at work, ready for another long night of stocking shelves and assisting customers. As I made my way into the store, the lights above flickered intermittently, casting an eerie glow over the aisles. The place felt strangely still, like I had entered a world frozen in time. My shift started off like any other. I was busy restocking the shelves, arranging products in their designated spots, when I started noticing something off. It was the sound, or rather, the lack of it. Usually the store would be filled with a symphony of beeping scanners, chattering customers, and muffled music. But that night, it was dead silent. I shrugged it off, thinking that maybe it was just a slow night. But as the hours ticked by, the silence grew thicker, suffocating almost. It was as if the entire store had been muted, and I was left in this eerie vacuum of sound. As I made my way to the back of the store to fetch more products, a cold draft brushed against my skin, sending a chill down my spine. I glanced around, half expecting to see an open door or a broken window, but everything seemed intact. It was just an inexplicable chill that hung in the air. The strangeness continued. As I walked down the dimly lit aisles, I caught glimpses of movement out of the corner of my eye. Shadows seemed to dance on the walls, elongating and distorting with each step I took. I turned my head, expecting to see someone there, but there was nothing, just empty aisles stretching out before me. The feeling of being watched intensified. It was like unseen eyes were following my every move. I couldn't shake off the eerie sensation that I was not alone in that vast, silent store. It sent shivers down my spine, and a sense of unease settled in the pit of my stomach. And then, the whispers started. Soft, indistinguishable murmurs that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. It was like a chorus of hushed voices, their words blending into an incomprehensible symphony. I strained my ears, trying to make out what they were saying, but it was futile. As the night wore on, the whispers grew louder, filling the air with an unsettling cacophony. It was as if the very walls of Walmart were alive with secrets, whispering to one another, and I was trapped in the middle of their conversation. My heart raced as I decided to investigate the source of the whispers. I navigated the labyrinth of aisles, drawn towards a faint glow emanating from the electronics section. The whispers grew louder and more distinct as I approached, though the words remained elusive. And then, I saw them. Figures, huddled together in the dimly lit corner of the electronics department. They were dressed in tattered clothing, their faces obscured by the shadows. I couldn't make out their features, but their presence sent chills down my spine. Fear gripped me as I backed away, unsure of what I had stumbled upon. I had this overwhelming feeling that I shouldn't have seen them, that I had stumbled into something beyond my comprehension. I turned and ran, my heart pounding in my chest, desperate to escape the haunting presence that lingered in that forsaken corner of the store. As I burst out of the doors, gasping for breath, the early morning light washed over me, signaling the end of my shift. I looked back at Walmart, its exterior calm and unassuming. It was as if nothing had happened, as if the bizarre events of that night were nothing more than a figment of my imagination. To this day, I can't explain what went down during that fateful graveyard shift. Was it a trick of the mind, a hallucination brought on by exhaustion? Or was there something more sinister lurking within the walls of that Walmart? Whatever it was, I'm grateful to have made it out unscathed, with nothing more than a chilling story to tell.